morning, students. Today we are going to be learning about fractions. Fraction is a part of a whole or a portion of a whole. There are two parts to a fraction, a numerator, which goes on top, and the denominator, which goes on the bottom. Here we have one whole apple. We are going to cut this apple into half. So I go ahead and cut it into half. And we're going to cut it into two equal parts. So here we have two equal parts. And here I have 1/2 the apple. And here's half the apple. So we put together, we go back to one whole apple. So here we have 1/2 the apple and half an apple. I'm going to divide these into 4 equal parts, giving us 1/4. Here I cut half of the half, and then cut half of the other half, and it gives me 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. If I get 2 of the 1/4 and 1/4, that gives me half of the apple. And if I get 3, that gives me 3/4 of an apple. If I put the 1/4 back, that gives me the whole apple. Okay, so here we see that our apple has been cut into 4 equal parts. Now we are going to cut each of the 1/4 into 1/8. So I cut the 1/4 into half. The 1/4 to half. And here we can see that I have 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, and so on and so forth. And we get 1/8 plus 1/8, that gives me 1/4. If I get another 1/8 and 1/8, that gives me 1/2. If I get another part, you see how that gives me 3/4. If I put the 1/4 together, I can see how that gives me the whole apple. Gives me one whole. Okay, now that we have seen what is a fraction, we're going to see what is not a fraction. So here I have one whole apple. If I cut this here, we can see that this is not half of this other piece, because this part is smaller than this part of the apple. So here you see how it's not a fraction, because they are not equal parts. It is 2 parts, but they are not equal parts. So therefore, it is not a fraction. Now that we know a fraction is equal parts of a whole, we will go back to the classroom and work on a little more on fractions.